Hello friends, welcome back to MoonMagickSpirit. If you're new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today we are going to do an interview with the deck Visions in the Liminal Space. This is the new deck that just came out, Visions in the Liminal Space, and we will get that in just a second. But here we are in a different change of scenery. I recently moved. I really like this. This is like my tarot space where I have my altar, where I do all of my magic. So if you think that this would be a fun background, let me know in the comments down below. But I am super excited for this little space in my new place. But today we have Visions of the Liminal Space by Bakara Whitner and Kaylee Christensen. I have been anticipating this deck for such a long time. I feel like a lot of people had like the first version of this, the sister version. I missed out, like literally right when they announced that they were done and never bringing it back is like when I finally started following Everyday Magic. So I was like, ugh. So I missed out on it because I just thought it would be around for a while. And then shortly after they announced that they weren't bringing it back. But that's because they were creating this new deck. I absolutely love the artistry on here, the vibe, it's everything. That's why I was super excited. It just says, until the day breaks and the shadows flee away on here. The box just feels like super nice and high quality. They were also putting a card in with every deck that arrived, and this is a card that came in my deck. The protection card, which I found to be a very tank, which means there are no coincidences because I've been seeing messages of protection all over for like the last 2 weeks. And yesterday I got my booster shot, so it was literal and astral, but it just also says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So I love that. I feel like that's like a good like theme of the deck. This is what the back of the cards look like. So let's go ahead and get into it. A little information on the deck. It retails for $44. There are 77 cards per deck with a 32-page guidebook. And on the website, on Everyday Magic's website, it just says, hello from inside the liminal space. By now, you're likely familiar with this world of empty airports, quiet stadiums, darkened carnivals, and abandoned cities. The mirror realms, the shadow shelves, and back alleys of once slightly alternative dimensions are now the primary reality of the collective. The feeling is a vacant room you imagine full just before entering, in the energy of another still lingering in the air. Somewhere you were meant to be, but long before or after you were meant to be there. You've always had a home here and always will. Maybe you felt it between worlds of each chapter, on an exhale of each breath. Maybe you've had visions here too. This is a waiting room of sorts, to be sure. Your number is bound to be called soon, and in the meantime, it's time to settle in. Pull a card. So I absolutely love this. It is a familiar yet strange. This deck is inspired by the moments in between and the magic that remains. So I am super excited to get to work with this Oracle deck. I love it so much. So here is the guidebook. It fits perfectly inside the packaging. So I'm glad to have this as a reference. And here are the beautiful cards. I read on the website, they're like a linen finish. So they feel super nice. I am going to do a 6-card spread interview with this deck just to see the vibe of it and to get into it a little bit more and get more familiar with it. This deck shuffles so nicely. It always looks like so satisfying whenever I see them shuffling these decks on their Instagram stories. I'm like, those look like really nice cardstock. So the questions that I have for interviewing a deck is, what does our relationship look like? How are we going to work together? What's an important aspect of your personality? Something you require from me, something I can expect from you, and a message you would like to give me. Oh my God, this is so satisfying. Doing that shuffle was so satisfying. It shuffles so easily. I love it so much. I have to do it again. But I am super sad that I missed out on the first release of this deck. I tried finding it online and people were trying to sell it like on eBay for $500 and $600. And I'm like, I don't think so. No, ma'am. You are out of your freaking mind. So I will continue to keep an eye out, but I'm sad it's not in print anymore. So let's get into it. First card, what is our relationship? Strangely perfect timing is the first card that I drew, okay. Next is how are we going to work together? Reason to live juice. I love that. I just love all the artwork and even the font and everything on here. An important aspect of your personality, rewritten history, okay. Something you require from me. Fortune favors the bold. Something I can expect from you, the fucking. And lastly, a message you would like to give me, the high road. So the first card that I drew for what is our relationship going to look like, I pulled Strangely Perfect Timing, which says, daring traveler may slip between time's tickings, expand it, skip pebbles through its waters, and peer between its curtains. The wise one knows better. To receive something ahead of time can be more damning than late or null arriving. To seek or possess premature information may also induce madness. A fruit is ripest right before it rots. A strange dream a few seconds before was a nightmare. Birth too early is death. There is no benefit to getting ahead of time. Follow its lead and arrive not early or late, not rushing or idling, but strangely perfectly on time. So the second card that I pulled is Reason to Live Juice for how we are going to work together. It also says 555 milligrams, take as needed. So Reason to Live Juice is deeply personal cocktail of whatever helps you get through the day. Each day is different, as is what it demands of the living. While it's possible this brew is spiked with maladaptive coping mechanisms, addictions, and disorders, there is more medicine than malady at the heart of human motivation. Meandering strolls, meaningful conversations, bright memories, tender touches, scrumptious meals, profound art, inspiring architecture, love letters, a stomach full of butterflies, braiding your friend's hair, the night before a vacation, your dreams for the future, the smell of old books and strong coffee, and veggies fat and glowing on the vine, all to reside in this mistress mixture of the human soul that makes us rise to fight another day. Interesting. So next, for an important aspect of the deck's personality, we have rewritten history. Books possess a magic greater than the sum of their parts. From society's earliest documentation, efforts to immortalize and pass on lessons learned can be found stenciled on the walls of prehistoric caves, hinted at in the art, masonry, tools, clothing, architecture, and most importantly, books. Regardless of the language, they are hollowed clues of the intricate web connecting all of us through time and space. Totalitarian regimes often target culture, specifically literature, because we are a people who understand ourselves through story. All literature is dangerous to an authority that fears the free flow of ideas. A population cannot be controlled without also controlling the information it consumes. More than a fundamental repression of ideas, this erasure of people's history, culture, and humanity is a step towards erasing the people themselves. What can be so dangerous in a book or about the truth that would call for its annihilation? Under what circumstances would a highly intelligent nation burn its books? Under what conditions might a highly intelligent person rewrite their history? Even you, perhaps, in this instance. Too long didn't read, keep receipts for everyone's sake. So what does the deck require from me? I got Fortune favors the bold. Tarot recognizes fortune as one of its 22 major arcana or primary mysteries. You should too. A necessary power to harness when working with money magic, significant transitions, and quests of all matters that involve luck. That's fun. I absolutely love that. I think it's such a fitting card to get. So up next for what can I expect from you, the deck gave me the Fuckening, which I already like this card. And it just says, sometimes things go deeply wrong. This is one of those times. The fire will go out eventually and you can come back and see what's left once it does, or not. I'm taking that as this deck is going to keep me on my toes and to expect the unexpected. So the message the deck has for me is take the high road. There is a magnificent idea available that will solve a multitude of issues, but accessing it requires seeing beyond what is to what should be, a solution rather than an answer. Keep imagining until you reach an outcome where everyone wins. If you can achieve that, the level of genius, something positive and productive blooms on this mortal coil. I love that. I can't wait to work with this deck more. If you have this deck or if you're thinking about ordering it, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you have the OG one, let me know how you got along with it. I will have links listed down below. As always, you can also find out where you can connect with me further on social media through the Koji link. My website is listed down there if you'd like to book a reading with me. As always, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to hang out with me. I really appreciate it, and I hope to connect with some of you guys over on Instagram and also down below in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.